All right, let's go talk to Isabela. I think we're going to find that this whole deal with that missing tome that she stole didn't end with the Qunari. I think this is going to haunt her until we finally deal with it once and for all.
I see. Sometimes people get things for other people they like. This is the part where you say thank you.
I know that, you goose. Don't you know what this is? It's a Ravani fertility talisman. These petal-like shapes represent certain fleshy bits. And this protrusion is, well, just look.
Oops.
You're an expert on Ravani talismans, are you?
My mother was a Ravani seer. Or rather, she pretended to be. She knew enough about the old tribal practices to put on a convincing act. She used to hand these things out to women all the time.
It's just a pretty flower.
You keep thinking that if it makes you feel better. Ravani women would wear these so that their wombs would be fruitful and their marriages blessed with many children. Not that they worked, of course. Seems to me you either have a fruitful womb or you don't. Thank you. It's nice to have something to remind me of my homeland.
Now, I believe... I don't remember if I picked this up in this game or in I don't remember where. But it seems that Isabela was married to Zevran. I think it comes up in some dialogue with her somewhere here in Dragon Age 2. I don't remember. Anyway, but I wonder, she looked just a little bit, I don't know what'd be the word for it, but like, you know, she talks about how, you know, it's supposed to work to have a fruitful womb. I wonder if she wanted a baby at some point or something. I mean, that's hard to picture Isabela like that, wanting to be a stay-at-home mom. I really don't see it, but I don't know. She looked a little whimsy about it or something. I don't know.
You know, I'm starting to think Sandal is watching me.
It's got a little hint of that. It's hard to read, Isabela.
I'd like to speak with you about our sleeping arrangements. Do you think he could use another bed?
Does he take up too much space at the foot of the bed?
Well, it's just that he snores, and sometimes he stinks like a bog.
Poor dog.
Oh, don't be sad. I still like you very much. Perhaps you could sleep with Sandal.
Enchantment!
Well, dog likes Sandal, and Sandal can't be all bad. Sandal's pretty cool, actually. So I judge people about what my dog thinks of them. Best way to judge people.
Oh, look who's here. Time to change the locks again.
I knocked this time. Bodan let me in. Guess what? Castillon's in town, and I'm not waiting around for him to stick a knife in my vitals. We're going to get him before he gets me.
We're going to surprise Castillon. I love surprises.
Unfortunately, Castillon's holed up somewhere in Kirkwall. I haven't been able to find him. I do know where Velasco is, however. That's his right hand. We just have to make him tell us where Castillon is. Somehow.
So you're saying you don't have a plan?
I have something of a plan. Step 1, we go to Velasco. Step 2, something exciting happens. Step 3, profit. Well, do you have a better idea?
If we kill him and search his body, we might find something.
Or we could find nothing and get nowhere.
We could hit him till he talks.
You'll just end up killing him.
Couldn't we just ask Velasco where Castillon is? Nicely.
He's not going to reveal anything willingly. I can't risk him getting suspicious and alerting Castillon.
Castillon wants you. Why not let Velasco bring you to him?
And you follow me. Ooh, that's clever. I was going to suggest challenging Velasco to a riddle game and making Where's Your Boss one of the riddles. This is so much better.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Velasco's been spending his nights at the brothel, enjoying its many splendors. That's where we'll find him.
Yeah, if Isabela wonders why things don't always go according to plan, well, it's because she doesn't have a plan. It might have a lot to do with it. Yeah. One thing I noticed about these DLC items is they do tend to be just a bit overpowered. In fact, in comparison, some of them are even better than like the Champion's gear, you know, that you get for the end of the game type of thing. I would think the Champion's armor would be... It's the case with the Warrior, is you're not going to beat the Champion's armor for the Warrior. It's just overall, I think, the best overall set, in my opinion. At least for the, you know, the way I like to play and how I like to build my character. For the Rogue and even the Mage, honestly, there's individual pieces that you can kind of put together. And you may not get a set bonus, per se, but you can really buff and augment... you know, what you do with your character build with certain items that you can find. And then of course, you know, the DLC stuff, even for, you know, for the main, just really for all the classes, it's just kind of over the top. And for the Rogue here, and notice this armor I'm wearing, it's got a higher armor rating than the Champion set, you know, just for example. Plus it has, you know, the added perks and buffs and stuff that make it actually even better. Yeah, I don't think that's right. I notice a pattern in the DLC stuff they give you. It's like a few levels ahead. For the most part. Most of it is, you know, stuff that you probably wouldn't get to your level 6 or 7. Well, you can have it at level 1 or 2 type of thing. When you get to level 6 or 7, other stuff starts to, you know, outrank it a little bit, and, you know, you just kind of grow into it. But there's a few items that are just over the top, that just, you know... And you get them at way too early a level, and they're way too overpowered. Make things a little easier, a little more fun for, you know, just playing along. But the character I'm playing right now on my stream, well, actually I've got two. I've got another rogue, and I'm trying a few different things. I'm running with Shadow before I pick Assassin. Not a big difference, but it's making the gameplay a little different early in game. And then a Warrior that I want to do a build video on, because I have a really cool Berserker Reaver build. It's pretty brutal. It really is. It's a lot of fun, and I'm not running with any DLC stuff. I'm just going with what I can find in the game, and it's kind of cool because it makes loot relevant all the time, and that's a big deal to me. There's two things that I really like in an RPG, and one is when you ding. It's when you level. All right, that's, you know, anytime the level pops up, you get to put a point in something. Doesn't really matter what it is, just, you know, I mean, if you got your build in mind, you already know where you're maybe going to put it and stuff, but it's just the point that you get to, you know, and that's cool to me. That makes games that I'm, like, really familiar with fun, especially ones where you get to level a lot, like Fallout. Fallout has that really well. Even, you know, like Skyrim and Oblivion and stuff like that. Oblivion, I liked it because you could get your little point and it'd be up there, and then you had to go find a place to sleep, and when you rested, that magical moment where you get to, you know, increase your abilities a little bit and stuff. I thought that was really, really cool the way they did that. Totally unique. Anyway, so leveling, and then the other thing is finding that next piece of gear that's just a little bit better than what you got. You know, like that weapon that does one more point of damage. Honestly, it could do that to me 1,000 times in the game, and I would never get tired of it. I could just roll with that forever. Just give me the next better thing. And MMOs are really awesome about that, actually. And some other games that I've played that are a lot like MMOs, like Sacred 2 and stuff like that, that have more of an MMO type of feel, kind of, you know, that top view down look as you run around, and you're constantly grinding and farming for stuff. You know, new gear, some new armor piece, some new something that you hope somebody drops. So you go kill millions and millions of enemies to try to get them to drop that one thing you're looking for that's going to just put your whole build together. And that stuff is fun to me. I really enjoy that. It's a reward, you know, it's a reward for your work. So anyway, these DLC items kind of take that away a little bit in Dragon Age 2. Oh my gosh. Speaking of that, Inquisition, their version of the Black Emporium, which is an abomination. Sorry, it really is. big mistake on their part in a lot of different ways, is what few things it actually left you to really do. In Inquisition, it kind of takes that away from you. If you decide to use it, it's something that I wish I hadn't downloaded, and I'm not going to utilize or exercise in any future playthroughs of Inquisition. But it's horrible. Not only did they really screw up Xenon, I think they got like a new voice actor or something, and he comes across as like a, I don't know, some sicko predator thing instead of, you know, the cool, immortal Xenon, you know. I mean, it just totally destroyed it. You know, he was really cool in Dragon Age 2. I thought he was a funny addition. And then they kind of spoiled that in Inquisition. And then on top of that, they gave you the ability to, you don't even have to farm for stuff anymore. They made every schematic and every crafting material in the game available to you. You know, just for a handful of gold. And the thing about that is, gold isn't really hard to come by in the game anyway. And then on top of that, if you already know what you're going to get for your build, and you know the schematics are going to be there, and it's according to level, like levels 1 through 7, you're going to have tier 1 schematics, all of them. Everyone that's available in the game will be there for you. And then once you hit level 8, you can go buy all the tier 2 schematics. So you could literally farm your way through the hinterlands until you're level 8, go to the Black Emporium, go buy all tier 2 materials, because you haven't had to spend your gold on anything else. You just sell everything you got because you know what you're going to be using later. You can just go find. And you can get by level 1 through 7, even on Nightmare Friendly Fire, damn near running solo. You can get through the hinterlands and get to your level 8, and just with whatever gear you find, and then sell the rest. And then whatever gold you've got from looting and from rewards and what have you, you can go to the Black Emporium as soon as you hit level 8 and get just the kind of materials and just the schematics you need to get all the way through levels 8 through 15, essentially what it's for. And then once you hit level, 15 or 16, then you can go buy all your tier 3 stuff, including, I don't know what level, like dragon bones and dragon scales become available, but they actually sell those too, and so you don't even need to go kill dragons. Like, what the hell were they thinking? I totally don't get it.
Greetings,
I can't even make an excuse in my head for that.
That is what they call you in your city, isn't it? Did you need something?
I hear there is a criminal hiding among the Dalish.
He is not among us. This criminal of yours is set up in a cave away from our camp. He said there would be people looking for him, and to tell anyone who asked where he was.
I thought the point of hiding was not to be found.
He said he didn't want to endanger our people by asking us to lie for him. Not something you'd expect from a cruel and evil murderer, is it? He'll be waiting for you at the cave. Good luck trying to reach him, however.
Strange. The man wants to be found.
Now, I know who this is that we're going to find here. We'll all recognize him if you played Origins, but I like that. He's just totally ruthless to his enemies, but loyal to his friends. Notice he didn't want to endanger these innocents here, and so, you know, he didn't want to put them, you know, put their necks on the line for him. I think that's just awesome. But anyway, I didn't mean to necessarily get into a rant about the whole Black Emporium thing, but just bring that up that they've kind of taken away, you know, the whole reward for playing, in my opinion, which comes down to, you know, leveling as you go and finding new stuff as you go, you know, that type of thing. That's big to me. Each time my character lights up and it tells me I've got another point to spend, that's fun. It makes the game, you know, go along. Makes it worth playing. It means I can play over and over and over again, and I really can. I think that's why RPGs are my favorite. Rune of Valiance. I believe that's the one that allows you to put a couple extra attribute points in your armor. Just how quickly you can tear down an individual target when you're getting just lots and lots and lots of criticals. That's why I've sunk so much into cunning, in that, you know, if I know I'm going to be getting a lot of criticals, might as well, you know, take full advantage of that. And I think it's kind of crazy on Nightmare to not put a single point to, like, Constitution or any of that, or really into defenses. And the whole point of the rogue is to
Strange.
tear shit down fast, you know? And so, the more you sink into defense and survivability, as if you're going to be a tank anyway, which you're not. On Nightmare, you're going to get one-shotted by a lot of stuff, so just don't get hit. You know, that's the thing, is kind of stay out of the way. Let your tank do their job, and then get in there and hit as hard as possible, you know? That seems to be working out, in my opinion. And, you know, honestly, with gear and things like that, and as you just naturally level and gain certain equipment, you're going to have, you know, you're going to gain some extra health here and some extra resistances there and stuff. There's rings and amulets and all that kind of stuff that can compensate and at least allow you to take that one initial hit to where you can get somewhere and heal, or, you know, cloak into stealth and let somebody else draw the aggro off of you and then, you know, get back to work type of thing. You'll see that pattern in my gameplay a lot, but I think the numbers we put up overall are pretty impressive. May not do the absolute biggest criticals, necessarily, but I think the steady stream of nice, big, healthy numbers definitely justify this build as being a pretty effective one. Okay, I'm going to want to trigger all these, because these are actually going to be worth more than the enemies are.
That should do it.
I don't know how Zevran set the spiders up. I have no clue.
How about you? Now you fall.
So I think these corrupted ones are, the poisonous spiders are probably the biggest threat here. You know, if you put the damage from the Twin Fangs together, it's not quite as beefy as Assassinate, but pretty close. I mean, it's like a poor man's Assassinate, really. Alright, Meryl, get out of my way. Alright, are we good? Not enough spiders for now? Good deal. I'm not sure who that was for. Varric, maybe? I don't know. But besides the ones that you buy, a lot of the armor upgrades are found from doing these little side quests and stuff. If this is something you choose not to do, well, that's an armor upgrade for a companion you're just not going to get.
Traps. You can't say our man wasn't prepared.
Okay,
Watch your step.
Okay, this is interesting. Did it... Oh, well, you know what? I think one of my followers triggered it before I actually got credit for it. Darn it. Oh well. Okay, this is annoying. and these corpses here were just bait, apparently. At least get all the good stuff while we're here. Oh, you know, I mentioned my stream earlier. Any of you that are interested, if you're still hanging out here, watching, thought I'd mention I stream normally around. I'm in Central Time, Central U.S. Usually around 5 in the evening. Sometimes earlier if I can. But you know, you have days like today where I'm doing a lot of editing and stuff, and videos they take a little bit more time than what I would have thought getting into this whole YouTube thing. But sometimes it's an all-day thing, you know, editing and then trying to, you know, save clips and files and this and that and put things together. And then you got to do the whole uploading thing. Sometimes that takes a while. Then there's, you know, tagging and titling and blah, 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 all the other stuff. Putting things out on social media and whatever. Anyway, sometimes that can be really, really time. Oh, wow, we got another Vartro. Interesting. What he's doing back here. But, Sometimes it's an all-day thing, but pretty much just about every day for the last few weeks or so. We've been streaming in the evenings, and there's friends who drop by, regulars who drop in and just say hey and stuff, and hang out and talk, chat, talk Dragon Age lore a lot, stuff like that. Everyone seems to enjoy it, have a good time. Sometimes it's just a few, and other times it might be, you know, a dozen or a couple dozen even. People stopping in and everybody, you know, passing along Dragon Age knowledge and stuff like that. Yeah, we're tearing this guy down a little faster than the first one, huh? But yeah, if you wanna stop in, it's I think I've got the link down below in the about section, but it's Ninja Flips TV on Twitch. Not too hard to forget. Like to see anybody that's a regular to my channel stop in there and say hey. Got some really cool people, some really knowledgeable people too. We'll stop in and talk about some, you know, theories and things like that, and things that we've discovered from the games. And since I've been playing,
now you,
basically,
I wasn't
oops,
expecting.
here's Zevran.
How do you do? My name is Zevran Aranai, adventurer and occasional assassin.
I've heard about you. You helped the hero of Ferelden stop the Blight.
At your service, my friend. I must admit, I was waiting for an assault by the Crows, not the mighty champion of Kirkwall.
How do you know I'm the champion?
Slayer of Qunari, Deep Roads explorer, and a beauty to make the gods jealous. You underestimate your fame.
I'll assume you're not talking about birds.
Oh, please, do not tell me you know nothing of the Antivan Crows. We are the finest guild of assassins, an object of fear throughout the lands for any man with wealthy enemies. Or I should say they are. I am no longer a crow, a fact they find unacceptable.
There must be more to it than you leaving the guild.
That is offense enough to the Crows, believe me. I may have also killed the last 4 assassins they sent after me, and older men. Oh, and the guildmaster. In fact, if you were a crow, you might make a fortune bringing me in. You should consider a career change. No, really.
I thought you'd be taller.
Ah, let me guess. A man named Nuncio has asked you to capture a dangerous killer, yes? What did he say this time? That I killed his wife, butchered his parents, sold his children into slavery? Or did he tell you he was a lawman from Antiva, charged with apprehending a ridiculously handsome fugitive?
He also said you were a wanted murderer.
Oh, indeed I am. But technically, I imagine everyone here can rightfully claim that title. Bring me to Nuncio if you wish, but I warn you, he surely intends to kill you. The Crows do not like loose ends, unlike myself. But you are a woman who can clearly handle herself, yes? Why worry? So, you can either tie me up, gag me, and then manhandle me. Or you can take me to Nuncio. Which will it be, I wonder?
I'm not going to hand you over to someone who lied to me.
As a suggestion, you might wish to deal with Nuncio. If you don't, he will only come after you. It's been more than a pleasure, my dear champion. Fare you well.
Nice. He's actually trustworthy to a point. I wonder what his association with Liliana is, going all the way back to Origins. I wonder if his appearance is not quite a coincidence, right? As it might appear. Although, I don't know, what that would tie Liliana in with Loghain somehow. I don't know. I just have major suspicions about Liliana. I think we're going to find... Let it just be said, I'd like to document this now, that I think we're going to find she may even be the chief antagonist in the next Dragon Age installment, or the one after that, or something. In the future, I think we're going to find that she is an enemy to... who knows, all Thetis? I don't know. Maybe... I'm not going to say she runs Orlais, but if Orlais winds up being a chief antagonist later, that she could be behind it. She could be a chief instigator and all that. I don't know. Like I say, I can't point to exactly what or how they're going to do it. I just have strong suspicions that she is behind much of it. Much of the bad things that can happen that you will have to fight against in some future Dragon Age.
I let your assassin go. Was I not supposed to do...
You had him? And you let him go? I am thoroughly disappointed. No one fails the crows and lives.
Ah, poor stupid Nuncio. The crows do like that saying, but I am living proof it's a lie. Why they insist on thinking they can kill people like you and the Warden, I will never guess.
Let me tell you, it's a burden I bear on a daily basis.
You are nothing but a traitor and a coward, Zevran. You'll die here.
Nice shot.
Well, let's see how that works out for you.
Like I say, he's loyal to his friends, but he's brutal to his enemies. Alright, lots of assassins here. I can't be taking all these backstabs. I'm gonna follow her, but we need to get their buff out of the way, or else none of them are ever gonna die. Yeah, there's just a bunch of flipping ninjas around here. Thank goodness they're all not lieutenant grade rogues. Yeah, if you have a problem dealing with assassins, this is going to give you the blues. Yeah, I need to start taking some of these guys out. It's too bad they can spam their stealth move. Yeah, that's not cool.
I'm sure you wish to loot the camp, yes?
Anders was over there kiting him that time, wasn't he? Like that. He says, I'm sure you want to loot the camp. Talk to me when you're done. Yep. He knows how it goes. Gotta take care of the important stuff first. Okay, now for a rogue, this is really important, is he's going to give us a reward, and it's going to be an in-game item for me. I mean, this will be, you know, this will be basically one of the last weapons that I get. In fact, the last weapon. I've got the spider's heart. And still messing around with one of these axes. I'm eventually going to pass these on to Isabela, I think, these twin sickles. Although, other than the rest of Isabela's little personal companion quests, which are going to be taken care of shortly, after that I won't be dealing with her much. I'm thinking about running her a little bit more in my party, with my warrior, in the place of Varric, at least at times. She's just fun to have around. She has cool dialogue and stuff. Varric does too, you know, but just nice for a change. She can do a lot of the same things. She has obviously she doesn't have Bianca, but she has different abilities. She has the ability to not really be a tank, but she can disrupt the battlefield a lot more. She can call enemies around and pull them away from targets and stuff. Like, she can literally watch out for Anders to a certain extent. Like, she has this thing it's like taunt. Okay, but she can also shed hate. So what she can do is she can literally pull an enemy away from Anders, and then right after that, pull the old Armistice move and remove all hate from herself and Anders, and you know, things like that. And I say Anders because he's kind of like the designated healer of the group, but she could do the same for Bethany if Bethany was in the party, you know, that type of thing. Of course, we know we lose Bethany early on for the most part.
Killing my former brothers in arms is oddly satisfying. I've little reward to offer you, champion, but perhaps this will serve as a token of my thanks. It is time to move on, as they say. I have a little war to wage back home, and so little time. Perhaps we'll meet again, champion.
that he's got a war to wage back home. I wonder if that points to some future thing. It's nothing I recall dealing with in Inquisition. Unless Mark of the Ascent, maybe the DLC? We're going to be playing that here eventually. Sometime, before the end of the game. Maybe there's something dealing with Zevran in there. I think there's some stuff about Isabela, too. Like I said, that's going to be completely blind to me. I mean, that's going to be a completely blind walkthrough. I hope I don't just flub it up and miss a whole bunch of stuff, because I'm going to try to get in there and be pretty thorough about it. I used to not care much at all for Zevran in Origins, and then grew to tolerate him, you know. We're never buddies exactly. Usually with my gameplay, if I did take a rogue, it was Liliana. And, I don't know, maybe that was a bad move now in hindsight. Zevran always came across as a bit of a perv, and a bit, I don't know. Yeah, a bit sleazy, but at the same token, he seemed to be pretty much straight up. And even though he's an assassin, he seemed to be one of the most trustworthy people in the group. Overall, I guess once you had his loyalty and stuff, I don't know. But anyway. Well, I have just a bunch of stuff. It's a good idea to hit the merchant at some point and just unload all this. So what I like to do is get through here and just filter through everything. Kind of like when we walked in on Anders and he's going, keep this, trash, 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 keep this, trash, trash, you know, same type of thing. Alright, so I have Finesse, and Finesse isn't an identical match to this other Dalish dagger I have right here, but it's really, really close. From a distance, they look the same. Up close, you can tell there's a slight design difference, but together I think they make a good pair, really good-looking pair. I like them. One of my favorite weapons in the game. I'm really glad they made the really good daggers in Inquisition with the same design. The Dalish dagger look. I think it's really, really cool. Although I seriously prefer the animation when you're ready to fight in Dragon Age 2 here, where you stand and you have your daggers out, one off to the side and one basically ahead of you and stuff. The stance that you have, I really like that. And the combat animations I actually like a little better too, honestly. Although Inquisition did have some cool stuff, like the grappling chain move. That's pretty cool. Alright, so we're stuck with Isabela for a minute. Doesn't really matter who I take in here at the moment. This is one of the funner or funnier quests in the game, I guess. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the old, I don't know, maybe Oblivion-style quests, where you had a little humor mixed in with, you know, something that actually had some relevance. There was actually a point. This isn't just going and fetching an item and bringing it back. This has its own little story to it. I think it's funny how it plays out, right? So we're supposed to deliver Isabela up as bait, and then when they take her away to wherever they're taking her, apparently, or hopefully to Castillon, right? Then we're going to follow, and then that'll lead us to their lair, to their base, and then we can take care of them once and for all type thing. That's funny, you know. I mean, that's cool. It's more than just, like I say, just some stupid fetch 'em quest. And what did I do? Did I leave the other axe in storage or something? I think so. That's fine. We'll get it later. I've got a lot of this stuff to kind of filter through too. I've been saving it because I'm thinking, well, I can't use it, but somebody can. And one thing about the Dragon Age games, and even Mass Effect to a certain extent, is equipping your party is as important as equipping your main character. If you want them to support you, give them something to fight with. You know, I mean, seriously, it's sometimes it's more important. Sometimes the better items that really fit specifically a certain character's role or a certain character's build would be better off with that follower than it is with your main character, even if it is a better item. Now, you know, you don't have to worry about armor in this. A lot of people bitched about that. I'm glad.
It's his room over there. Are you ready?
Yes, I think so. Now, this needs to be convincing. And you'll need to get creative. Call me names, even hit me. Stick with it, no matter what I do. Velasco's a clever son of a bitch. If you waver, he'll notice.
I'm worried about you. You're enjoying this a little too much.
I am, aren't I? Whatever you do, just make sure he takes me to Castillon. I'll leave a trail for you to follow. Let's go.
I think you and Isabela can handle it from here.
What? Get back here, you... Skittish bitch. I hope you have a good reason for interrupting my private time.
I brought you a new plaything. She's much less timid.
Are you insane?
You should see the look on your face.
This wasn't the plan. We were going to kill him.
Remember that time you ran off with the Tome of Kasloun? This is like that, only funnier.
You backstabbing little shit. You'd better start sleeping with one eye open.
Castillon will be pleased. He's been looking for Isabela for some time. A token of our appreciation. It's more than she is worth.
To the rescue, then.
So Isabela played her role impeccably, right? I'm sorry, this kind of stuff, this is just funny. Where they think of these things. Alright, so we get to put somebody back in her place real quick. Alright, now it's just a matter of following her trail. She's going to leave a trail of pieces of her garments or something for us to follow, that type of thing. Yeah, these type of quests here, they're much better than just your old run-of-the-mill fetch 'em quests and stuff. I think I've already been through here, right? Already searched this whole place out? Yeah, okay. Good deal. You know me, I don't want to miss any loot, any stuff.
This is Isabela's trail.
Okay, we're literally going to chase her all across town. I mean, literally. We're going to go to several areas
Looks like
here.
the trail Isabela left. This belongs to Isabela. This is Isabela's trail.
I don't know that it's necessary to trigger each one of these, but just in case.
This is Isabela's trail.
One thing I learned from games like Oblivion is if you don't follow things particularly, like say you know where a quest leads, you know, and you try to skip certain things and get to the end without following these, you know, the path of the quest, sometimes you can glitch the quest or break it completely, you know. Sometimes it can be even game breaking, so yeah, I've learned my lesson on that. The quests are designed to tell something of a little story, so I'm cool with that.
This belongs to Isabela. This belongs to Isabela. This belongs to Isabela.
Literally dragging us all through town. Seriously.
This belongs to Isabela. Looks like the trail Isabela left. This is Isabela's trail. Isabela's leading me to the docks. This belongs to Isabela. Looks like the trail Isabela left. This is Isabela's trail. This belongs
Yeah, I'd like to point out that this game,
This belongs
people
to
said it was
Isabela.
rushed and too short and too small. I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's not a million maps and 500 square miles of stuff to explore, blah, blah, blah. But, we're already on, what, episode 50 with plenty to go, and these have been long episodes for the most part. I've made these quite a bit longer, so I don't know. I'm not going to say it's necessarily equivalent to the, 100 or whatever put into Inquisition, which is really a huge game, but, still, I think it's, I think it provides its fair share of content. I really do. Lots of story. If you think about it, all the cutscenes and all the voice acting and the humor and I just can't knock it. I mean, it's awesome game. Awesome game, and I don't feel shortchanged at all. I think it's well worth it. And then the animations and the combat are really fun. And a really, really deep, rich combat system, and just blah, 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 and on, and I can't say enough about it. Although some of you who have seen my stream might remember me bitching about Dragon Age 2 a few times, especially when I'm dying a lot. That's just me, not the game.
Contrary to popular belief, I do have standards.
You're going to do whatever I want. I own you.
You sure about that?
You! I knew the bitch was up to something. Kill them!
Everybody's ready to kill somebody all the time. Can't we just talk about this? I want to catch some of these traps. Some of these, I don't know if that was a trap that was triggered to put those flames out there, or if that's just an obstacle to make the level harder.
That should do it. Trap.
Instead of fighting, I'm running around hunting traps. I know. I have no shame. I'm such an XP whore. Let's go ahead and get some of these guys out before they do any real damage. Oh wow, somebody's hitting Elven pretty hard over there. Let's go take care of him. I think we hit kind of hard too, don't we?
Velasco sent word to Castillon. He's on his way. Let's look around first. I want to know why he's in Kirkwall.
Well, he's a slaver, so he doesn't have any hope of walking away from me. Period. End of conversation. But, I'm sure that has something to do with why he's here. Not like I really need proof. I've already heard it from his lackey's mouth that his whole thing was to sell even children. By the hundreds, if not thousands. And people like that, well, there's just no words for it. And no, there is not another answer for it other than death, either. So I think we look around here and we wind up finding some proof of something or another. First, I want to get anything else that we might have here. I think once we activate one of these flags, quest markers there, then it triggers the next cutscene, so I want to make sure we loot everything else first if we can. And see, like, this warehouse has been used for several quests, you know. Whether it's supposed to be the same place or different places. You know what, personally, I don't care. It's not that big of a deal to me. In fact, it's really not an issue at all. It's what's going on there, not necessarily where I'm doing it. And there's other games where I like huge explorable areas, sure enough. And that would have been fine here if they wanted to do this like Inquisition. If they wanted to remaster this and have, you know, all unique areas and this and that and blah, blah, blah. That'd be great. And sure, I'd play it. I'd be on it all day long. But I'm playing this, you know, as it is, and it's still just fine. Like I said, I don't have a single problem with that. I think it's nitpicking, and I get it. I understand why. People might nitpick it a little bit and stuff. Above and beyond maybe some expectations they might have had from Origins, and then found out that A, this wasn't Origins, and B, EA was being a bunch of douchebags at the time. Seriously. To gamers in general, you know. With a lot of their policies and their business practices and stuff, and, you know.
So Castillon's looking to
I get it,
expand his
so.
saving business.
But now,
Why
giving this game a second
And
chance.
Velasco
This is an
told me
awesome
you
game.
were all tied up. A lovely present just waiting to be opened. I see he's paid for that little mistake. What a pretty smear he makes. Well played, Isabela. Crossed and double-crossed.
You want to talk? Maybe we should talk about these documents. Slavery in the free marches? They're not going to like that.
Get to the point.
Give me your ship, and your word to leave me alone, and you can take these papers and go.
If you want the ship, can't we just kill him and take it?
You don't just kill a man and take his ship. That's crude and amateurish. How will he tell everyone how I bested him if he's dead?
Can you trust him? He trades people for money.
Castillon's a businessman, and this is a business deal. He'll keep his end of the bargain.
Why can't you surprise me in a normal way? With flowers, maybe, or a cake?
I see I wasn't the only one played today. Give me the documents, and you can have the ship. And you will never hear from me again.
Swear it.
I swear it on my mother's grave. Give me the documents.
Castillon dies here today, if I have anything to say about it.
Enough with the blackmail then. Let's settle this like civilized people.
Wait!
I'm sorry, no. As soon as you give him your bargaining chip, okay, we die. Maybe not today, but at some point. Alright, but, you know, I'll tell you what, seriously, Isabela, she may think it's just a game, but when many, many innocent people's lives, the misery of all these people is at stake, that game, you know, it's not fun anymore, okay? I understand the whole pirating business, right, really doesn't, take, you know, I don't know, things like, humanity into consideration and all that, but, still. She's gonna have to learn and change, at least if she wants to be buds with me. That right there, inexcusable. You can go ahead and keep on selling hundreds of thousands of children into slavery for a small profit, as long as I get a ship. Bitch, you already sold me out once in the Fade to a demon over a ship. Now you're willing to sell out all this guy's future victims for a ship? Come on, man. At what point do you learn? Well, maybe she doesn't. You know, maybe she doesn't. But no, I don't respect that, by the way. I don't. No, that's not excusable. Her values and morals need to change. If she wants to sleep with every swinging piece of meat that she comes across, that's kind of her business, and I'm not really talking about that. But her morals overall, as far as the deal that she was about to make right there, she needs to consider what she's dealing with, and at some point, there just is no price high enough to excuse somebody for, you know, their actions and stuff. That guy needs to die. It just does. A lot of people have died because of him, and will continue to die as long as he's alive. And nothing's going to change that except for a sword. It's the truth of it.
Oh. Now what am I supposed to do with these useless documents?
I hate to state the obvious, but I could use them.
Yeah, doing the right thing, maybe, Isabela?
Things. Go dispense justice or whatever. After all we've been through together, how could you do that to me?
Wow, Isabela, really? You're embarrassing yourself.
Remember the time you ran off with a relic?
You're not still using that as an excuse, are you? Oh, Hawk. Castillon deserved what he got, didn't he? I really hate it when you're right.
Now take his ship anyway. What's to stop you? You know, think about it. And let all the slaves that are down in the hold of that ship go. And then take the ship. Good. Clean it up and use it for yourself. If you want it. I mean, I don't... Wow. If she wanted to make it a game, you know, that's... Yeah, like I said, I don't really respect that. And what the hell is triggering this trap? Anyway, let's see if anybody dropped anything before we get out of here. It's been a pretty good one. We got our other dagger, which I have yet to equip. Gonna have to deal with my attributes a little bit later on. This state in the game, I'm going to experiment a little bit with some gear. I'm going to throw some of these runes of Alliance or whatever and try to buff my stuff a little bit, see if we can't get a little more damage out of some of my rings. Instead of relying on my rings and amulets and stuff for attribute, put attributes in my armor and see if we can't get some rings to buff our critical damage and things of that nature. See how that works a little bit. Something I haven't really messed with a whole lot before. I pretty much have kind of a set idea of what equipment I want. Pretty much buff your attributes with rings, and then armor is for resistances, you know, so you have a little bit of tankiness. I'm going to see if I can't go the other way with it. Maybe get a few extra attribute points into everything. We'll see.
Nothing new to report.
Here, boy. I've something to whet your teeth on. Freshly confiscated mutton just for you. Have at it. Just checking on my best guardsman. He's helping the men to learn healthy respect and how to run.
Tell you what, don't just judge people by how your dog treats them, but judge people by how they treat your dog. Or your animals, period. Seriously.
Is this for me? It's beautiful. Do you know what it is?
I only know that it was made by the Dalish.
It's sylvanwood, rare as diamonds. You only find it in very old, very wild places. The carvings tell a story of the betrayal, the dread wolf tricking all the gods away from the world.
Start at the beginning. What happened to the gods?
Long ago, there were two clans of gods. The Creators looked after the people, the Forgotten Ones preyed upon us. And one god who was neither, Fan Harel, the Dread Wolf. He was kin to the Creators, and in the old days often helped them in their endless war against the Forgotten Ones.
Why were they fighting?
No one knows. We barely even remember all their names, let alone who struck the first blow, who was wrong. Fan Harel was clever. He could walk among both clans of gods without fear, and both believed he was one of them. He went to each side and told them the other had forged a terrible weapon, a blade that would end the war. He told the Creators it was forged in the heavens, and the Forgotten Ones that it was hidden in the abyss. And when the gods went seeking it, he sealed them both in their realms forever. Now he alone is left in the world.
Betrayal sounds bad. Next time, I'll go with flowers.
It's not bad, exactly. This was made for a keeper, you see. Guarding a clan from the Dread Wolf is a keeper's place. It's a very sweet memento, thank you.
Got to be some hint of truth and lore in that story there, in that bit of tradition. That bit of I guess you would call it Elven history or whatever. Got to be some hint of some truth there. Wow, it's hard to put all the pieces together. Anyway, thanks for watching. And if you want to subscribe, click that button up top. And if you want to catch the rest of this Let's Play up to this point, click that image in the middle. If you want to catch me on Twitch, try to catch me in the evenings after about 5 Central. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.